prayer for the Negus and made us stand in rows behind him, and I was in the second or third row. Volume 5, Book 58, number 219, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet offered the funeral prayer for Ashama, the Negus, with 4 takbir. Volume 5, Book 58, number 220, narrated by Abu Huraira. That Allah's apostle informed them, that is his companions, of the death of Negus, the king of Ethiopia, on the very day on which the latter died, and said, "Ask Allah's forgiveness for your brother." Abu Huraira further said, Allah's apostle made them, that is the Muslims, stand in rows at the Musalla, that is praying place, and led the funeral prayer for the Negus and said 4 takbir. Volume 5, Book 58, number 221, narrated by Abu Huraira. Allah's apostle, while going out for the battle of Hunain, said, "Tomorrow, Allah willing, we will encamp at Kaif Bani Kinana, where the pagans of Quraysh took the oath of Kufr against the Prophet, that is to be loyal to heathenism, by boycotting Banu Hashim, the Prophet's folk." See Hadith number 659, Vol. 2. Volume 5, Book 58, number 222, narrated by Al-Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib, that he said to the Prophet, "You have not been of any avail to your uncle, Abu Talib, though, by Allah, he used to protect you and used to become angry on your behalf." The Prophet said, "He is in a shallow fire, and had it not been for me, he would have been in the bottom of the hell fire." Volume 5, Book 58, number 223, narrated by Al-Musayyab. When Abu Talib was in his deathbed, the Prophet went to him while Abu Jahl was sitting beside him. The Prophet said, "O my uncle, say, none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, an expression I will defend your case with, before Allah." Abu Jahl and Abdullah bin Umayyah said, "O Abu Talib, will you leave the religion of Abdul Muttalib?" So they kept on saying this to him, so that the last statement he said to them, before he died, was, "I am on the religion of Abdul Muttalib." Then the Prophet said, "I will keep on asking for Allah's forgiveness for you unless I am forbidden to do so." Then the following verse was revealed. It is not fitting for the Prophet and the believers to ask Allah's forgiveness for the pagans, even if they were their near relatives, after it has become clear to them that they are the dwellers of the hell fire. 9.113. The other verse was also revealed. "O Prophet, verily, you guide not whom you like, but Allah guides whom he will." 28.56. Volume 5, Book 58, number 224, narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. That he heard the Prophet when somebody mentioned his uncle, that is Abu Talib, saying, "Perhaps my intercession will be helpful to him on the day of resurrection, so that he may be put in a shallow fire reaching only up to his ankles. His brain will boil from it." Volume 5, Book 58, number 225, narrated by Yazid, as above, Hadith 224, using the words, "will make his brain boil." Volume 5, Book 58, number 226, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah, that he heard Allah's apostle saying, "When the people of Quraysh did not believe me, that is the story of my night journey, I stood up in Al-Hijr, and Allah displayed Jerusalem in front of me, and I began describing it to them while I was looking at it." Volume 5, Book 58, number 227, narrated by Abbas bin Malik. Malik bin Sasa said that Allah's apostle described to them his night journey, saying, "While I was lying in Al-Hatim or Al-Hijr, suddenly someone came to me and cut my body open from here to here. I asked Al-Jarud, who was by my side, 'What does he mean?' He said, 'It means from his throat to his pubic area,' or said, 'From the top of the chest.' The Prophet further said, 'He then took out my heart. Then a gold tray of belief was brought to me, and my heart was washed and was filled with belief, and then returned to its original place. Then a white animal, which was smaller than a mule and bigger than a donkey, was brought to me." On this Al-Jarud asked, "Was it the Barak, O Abu Hamza?" "I, that is Anas," replied in the affirmative. The Prophet said, "The animal's step was so wide that it reached the farthest point within the reach of the animal's sight. I was carried on it, and Gabriel set out with me till we reached the nearest heaven. When he asked for the gate to be opened, it was asked, 'Who is it?' Gabriel answered, 'Gabriel.' It was asked, 'Who is accompanying you?' Gabriel replied, 'Muhammad.' It was asked, 'Has Muhammad been called?' Gabriel replied in the affirmative. Then it was said, 'He is welcomed. What an excellent visit his is.' The gate was opened, and when I went over the first heaven I saw Adam there. Gabriel said to me, 'This is your father, Adam. Pay him your greetings.' So I greeted him, and he returned the greeting to me and said, 'You are welcomed, O pious son and pious prophet.' Then Gabriel ascended with me till we reached the second heaven. Gabriel asked for the gate to be opened. It was asked, 'Who is it?' Gabriel answered, Gabriel. It was asked, "Who is accompanying you?" Gabriel replied, "Muhammad." It was asked, "Has he been called?" Gabriel answered in the affirmative. Then it was said, "He is welcomed, what an excellent visit his is." The gate was opened. When I went over the second heaven, there I saw Yahya, that is John, and Isa, that is Jesus, who were cousins of each other. Gabriel said to me, "These are John and Jesus, pay them your greetings." So I greeted them, and both of them returned my greetings to me and said, "You are welcomed, O pious brother and pious prophet." Then Gabriel ascended with me to the third heaven, and asked for its gate to be opened. It was asked, "Who is it?" Gabriel replied, "Gabriel." It was asked, "Who is accompanying you?" Gabriel replied, "Muhammad." It was asked, "Has he been called?" Gabriel replied in the affirmative. Then it was said, "He is welcomed, what an excellent visit his is." The gate was opened, and when I went over the third heaven, there I saw Joseph. Gabriel said to me, "This is Joseph. Pay him your greetings." So I greeted him, and he returned the greeting to me and said, "You are welcomed, O pious brother and pious prophet." Then Gabriel ascended with me to the fourth heaven and asked for its gate to be opened. It was asked, "Who is it?" Gabriel replied, "Gabriel." It was asked, "Who is accompanying you?" Gabriel replied, "Muhammad." It was asked, "Has he been called?" Gabriel replied in the affirmative. Then it was said, "He is welcomed, what an excellent visit his is." The gate was opened, and when I went over the fourth heaven, there I saw Idris. Gabriel said to me, "This is Idris, pay him your greetings." So I greeted him, and he returned the greeting to me and said, "You are welcomed, O pious brother and pious prophet." Then Gabriel ascended with me to the fifth heaven and asked for its gate to be opened. It was asked, "Who is it?" Gabriel replied, "Gabriel." It was asked, "Who is accompanying you?" Gabriel replied, "Muhammad." It was asked, "Has he been called?" Gabriel replied in the affirmative. Then it was said, "He is welcomed, what an excellent visit his is." So when I went over the fifth heaven, there I saw Harun, that is Aaron. Gabriel said to me, "This is Aaron, pay him your greetings." I greeted him, and he returned the greeting to me and said, "You are welcomed, O pious brother and pious prophet." Then Gabriel ascended with me to the sixth heaven, and asked for its gate to be opened. It was asked, "Who is it?" Gabriel replied, "Gabriel." It was asked, "Who is accompanying you?" Gabriel replied, "Muhammad." It was asked, "Has he been called?" Gabriel replied in the affirmative. It was said, "He is welcomed, what an excellent visit his is." When I went over the sixth heaven, there I saw Moses. Gabriel said to me, "This is Moses, pay him your greeting." So I greeted him, and he returned the greetings to me and said, "You are welcomed, O pious brother and pious prophet." When I left him, that is Moses, he wept. Someone asked him, "What makes you weep?" Moses said, "I weep because after me there has been sent as prophet a young man whose followers will enter paradise in greater numbers than my followers." Then Gabriel ascended with me to the seventh heaven, and asked for its gate to be opened. It was asked, "Who is it?" Gabriel replied, "Gabriel." It was asked, "Who is accompanying you?" Gabriel replied, "Muhammad." It was asked, "Has he been called?" Gabriel replied in the affirmative. Then it was said, "He is welcomed, what an excellent visit his is." So, when I went over the seventh heaven, there I saw Abraham. Gabriel said to me, "This is your father, pay your greetings to him." So I greeted him, and he returned the greetings to me and said, "You are welcomed, O pious son and pious prophet." Then I was made to ascend to Sidrat-ul-Muntaha, that is the lote tree of the utmost boundary. Behold, its fruits were like the jars of Hajar, that is a place near Medina, and its leaves were as big as the ears of elephants. Gabriel said, "This is the lote tree of the utmost boundary. Behold, there ran 4 rivers, 2 were hidden and 2 were visible." I asked, "What are these 2 kinds of rivers, O Gabriel?" He replied, "As for the hidden rivers, they are 2 rivers in paradise, and the visible rivers are the Nile and the Euphrates." Then Al-Bayt-ul-Mamur, that is the sacred house, was shown to me, and a container full of wine and another full of milk and a third full of honey were brought to me. I took the milk. Gabriel remarked, "This is the Islamic religion which you and your followers are following." Then the prayers were enjoined on me. They were 50 prayers a day. When I returned, I passed by Moses, who asked me, "What have you been ordered to do?" I replied, "I have been ordered to offer 50 prayers a day." Moses said, "Your followers cannot bear 50 prayers a day, and by Allah, I have tested people before you, and I have tried my level best with Bani Israel, in vain. Go back to your Lord and ask for reduction to lessen your followers' burden." So I went back, and Allah reduced 10 prayers for me. Then again, I came to Moses. But he repeated the same as he had said before. Then again, I went back to Allah, and He reduced 10 more prayers. When I came back to Moses, he said the same. I went back to Allah, and He ordered me to observe 10 prayers a day. When I came back to Moses, he repeated the same advice, so I went back to Allah, and was ordered to observe 5 prayers a day. When I came back to Moses, he said, "What have you been ordered?" I replied, "I have been ordered to observe 5 prayers a day." He said, "Your followers cannot bear 5 prayers a day, and no doubt, I have got an experience of the people before you, and I have tried my level best with Bani Israel, so go back to your Lord and ask for reduction to lessen your followers' burden." I said, "I have requested so much of my Lord that I feel ashamed, but I am satisfied now and surrender to Allah's order." When I left, I heard a voice saying, "I have passed my order and have lessened the burden of my worshippers." Volume 5, Book 58, number 228, narrated by Ibn Abbas regarding the statement of Allah. "And we granted the vision, ascension to the heavens, which we made you see, as an actual eyewitness, was only made as a trial for the people." 17.60. Ibn Abbas added, "The sights which Allah's apostle was shown on the night journey when he was taken to Beit ul-Maqdis, that is Jerusalem, were actual sights, not dreams. And the cursed tree, mentioned in the Quran, is the tree of Zaqqum itself." Volume 5, Book 58, number 229, narrated by Abdullah bin Ka'b, who was Ka'b's guide when Ka'b turned blind. I heard Ka'b bin Malik narrating, when he remained behind, that is, did not join, the Prophet in the Ghazwa of Tabuk. Ibn Bukhar in his narration stated that Ka'b said, "I witnessed the Al-Aqaba pledge of allegiance at night with the Prophet, when we jointly agreed to support Islam with all our efforts. I would not like to have attended the Badr battle instead of that Aqaba pledge, although Badr is more well known than it, amongst the people." Volume 5, Book 58, number 230, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. I was present with my 2 maternal uncles at Al-Aqaba, where the Pledge of Allegiance was given. Ibn Uyayna said one of the 2 was Al-Bara bin Marur. Volume 5, Book 58, number 231, narrated by Jabir. My father, my 2 maternal uncles and I were among those who took part in the Aqaba pledge. Volume 5, Book 58, number 232, narrated by Ubadah bin as-Samit, who had taken part in the Battle of Badr with Allah's Apostle, and had been amongst his companions on the night of Al-Aqaba pledge. Allah's Apostle, surrounded by a group of his companions, said, "Come along and give me the pledge of allegiance that you will not worship anything besides Allah, will not steal, will not commit illegal sexual intercourse, will not kill your children, will not utter slander invented by yourself, and will not disobey me if I order you to do something good. Whoever among you will respect and fulfill this pledge will be rewarded by Allah. And if one of you commits any of these sins and is punished in this world, then that will be his expiation for it. And if one of you commits any of these sins and Allah screens his sin, then his matter will rest with Allah. If He will punish him, and if He will excuse him." So I gave the pledge of allegiance to him for these conditions. Volume 5, Book 58, number 233, narrated by Ubadah bin as-Samit. I was one of the Naqibs who gave the Aqaba pledge of allegiance to Allah's Apostle. We gave the pledge of allegiance to him that we would not worship anything other than Allah, would not steal, would not commit illegal sexual intercourse, would not kill a person whose killing Allah has made illegal except rightfully, would not rob each other, and we would not be promised paradise. JF, we did the above sins. Then, if we committed one of the above sins, Allah will give His judgment concerning it. Volume 5, Book 58, number 234, narrated by Aisha. The Prophet engaged me when I was a girl of 6 years. We went to Medina and stayed at the home of Bani al-Harith bin Khazraj. Then I got ill and my hair fell down. Later on my hair grew, again, and my mother, Ruman, came to me while I was playing in a swing with some of my girlfriends. She called me, and I went to her, not knowing what she wanted to do to me. She caught me by the hand and made me stand at the door of the house. I was breathless then, and when my breathing became all right, she took some water and rubbed my face and head with it. Then she took me into the house. There in the house I saw some Ansari women who said, "Best wishes and Allah's blessing and a good luck." Then she entrusted me to them and they prepared me for the marriage. Unexpectedly, Allah's Apostle came to me in the forenoon and my mother handed me over to him, and at that time I was a girl of 9 years of age. Volume 5, Book 58, number 235, narrated by Aisha, that the Prophet said to her, "You have been shown to me twice in my dream. I saw you pictured on a piece of silk and someone said to me, 'This is your wife.' When I uncovered the picture,